And welcome back. Hopefully everyone's had a nice little break. They've tried to reset their sanity meter, but unfortunately that's not how this game works. So we are going to drive these guys right back into the middle of it. They are walking outside of Electric House after having rather the charming experience it is to speak with Electric Hal in his back room. But we have Blake, we have Alexis, and we have Sam standing outside. They've just been handed this box with this receiver, but they've also been given a few pieces of paper. I'm going to ask Blake, you seem to be someone who knows about BBS feeds. Would you mind reading the first handout, the first printed piece of paper for me, please?
Yes, so the top says Tapehead's Paradise. This is from October 1989. The forum, the first post is back from February of 1982, posted by Anonymous. Looking for information about the Aether Institute. Anyone heard of this? My grandmother told me about a weird thing she saw on TV where a bunch of images interrupted her show. She said she saw some weird rooms and a scary face and something that said Aether Institute. This was in 1982 on KPXT in Clear Springs, California. She went missing days later, just trying to connect some dots.
Nice. Okay. And I think the other piece of paper, which quite appropriately, Alexis, is a newspaper clipping from Stan Fremont, who you probably know as a competitor. You found this ripped and torn, saved news article. Could I ask you to read this one, please?
Tagline is Inferno destroys television station, Clear Springs, California. The fire, which consumed the station of popular local television station KPXT last Thursday, is still under investigation. Police and fire investigators continue to probe the burned-out ruins, hoping to shed light on the reason for the fire. Andy Williams is a volunteer firefighter from Hillview who was on the scene the night of the blaze. It was looking like looking into the flames of hell itself, Williams said. The call came in just before 1 o'clock in the morning on Thursday and was made anonymously. Fire departments from Hillview and Statson were called to the scene immediately. The inferno lasted 3 hours and destroyed the single-story brick and wood building and burned hot enough to melt the supports and topple the station's 225-foot broadcasting antenna. Fire investigators later revealed questionable findings, including a set of footprints and 3 empty cans of kerosene found close to the site. Sal Hutchins, owner of the station, was reported missing just days before.
And this Stan Fremont would have been someone that you've worked with in the past. They're not someone that they're not a hack. They're a good journalist, Alexis. So when you read that, it resonates. Sam, instead of reading something, I'd like to cash in on that fumble earlier, please. I'd like for you to give me a power roll, please.
Failure.
Finally, the dice are telling my story. Okay, so on this power roll, Sam, we've got 70 over 50. That fumble earlier, it was seeing faces, wasn't it? It was the photograph.
Mm-hmm.
And how did you respond to that when that happened?
I didn't like it at all. I had probably destroyed the photograph and went to go find the camera so I could destroy that as well.
Okay. So in this moment, you've heard Blake talking about tape heads and some other thing where people are writing to each other through telephone communications and things. It doesn't quite make sense. Alexis talking about burning down buildings. This report where someone's talked about burning this tower or whatever. Now you're in the position where as you're listening to this, Sam, it's almost like there's that background static that you heard at Frank's apartment beginning to crackle away. You almost feel that it's coming directionally from places, Sam. You look back at Electric Owls, and even in the window you can see all the different television screens. For a moment, Sam, It's as if each of those screens has an eye that looks at you and blinks and then disappears. The static comes from out in the street. Alexis still looking at this newspaper, Blake still looking at this BBS report, almost showing it to each other. They don't notice you not noticing what's going on. And Sam, the static begins to build a little bit louder, a little bit louder. You hear a voice, not speaking, almost calling, communicating, but not speaking words. Off to your left, off around the corner of the building, you hear a... What do you do, Sam?
I gotta give a shout out. Who's there?
Do you know, in that moment when you say who's there, you see the shadow of someone, maybe, by the corner of the building, just turning quickly and going down the side alley of the building.
Stop right now.
They don't stop.
I'm gonna take off after them.
Okay, brilliant. Alexis, Blake, you're looking at these documents. What do you do when you see Sam just turn and bolt?
Where is he going?
Sam? Law enforcement expert?
Do you follow?
I think I will quickly walk behind him, but I'm not like outright running as I suppose Sam is.
Okay.
And then I think that makes Alexis break out into a run, and she will run after Sam, and she will grab hold of Blake's hand and pull her along.
Okay.
Okay, so what I'm thinking there is Sam's ahead, then Alexis, and then marginally followed by Blake, who's been pulled along, and probably lugging the box with the signal jammer in as well. This kind of dunk as we kind of go along. Sam, you bolt round the corner, you run round the corner, and as you turn, you see this alley. There's a skip, like a large giant trash compactor. There's bins. They've been knocked over. There's broken bottles. You see a TV on the floor, like a smashed TV, just like as if someone's just dropped it there, just fly tipping. Then you hear that sound, Sam, the static building, and you hear that. It seems to be coming from the broken television. What do you do, Sam?
Time to pull my gun on the television set. So come out with your hands up right now. I'll shoot. This is a warning.
As you offer this warning, you hold your gun and point at the TV. I would say at that moment, and you're a bit further into the alley, that's probably when Alexis and Blake arrive behind you, seeing with the raised gun pointed at a television. Not just pointed at a television, pointed at a broken television on the floor. Sam, you warn the television. It doesn't stop. It grows in intensity as you're there, and it almost the television itself almost begins to vibrate with the sound that's coming out of it.
Yeah, I think Sam is so far gone. He's got to shoot the broken television set.
Excellent. I think I'm going to need a firearms roll and a sanity roll at the same time, please, because we failed the power roll earlier, and I just wanted to see how far we could take this.
Yeah, absolutely.
When the gun goes off, Blake will cover her ears and kind of start cowering. This is not a comfortable situation.
So for the gunshot, we've got a hard success, a 22 over 70. Wow. And then for the sanity roll, Sam, wow, 94 over 49. Oh, that's nice. It's one of those palindrome numbers. Can you do a palindrome with numbers, or is that just letters? Anyway, that's for somebody else to work out. But you end up in this situation, Sam, where you've pulled your gun, bam, you fired. What do you think happens? Tell me.
I think the television set breaks a bit more, and then there's nothing. All right, it reveals just that Sam was afraid the whole time, and he doesn't see anything.
Oh, fortunately not, Sam. Good try. But I like where you're going with this. I just wanted to play with your sanity even more. You pull your gun, Sam. You aim it at this TV. You fire that shot. When that shot hits the TV shatters and smashed. The glass spatters out of the top. And for a moment, it all moves in slow motion, as if you're seeing the insides, almost seeing the internal wiring of the television and the circuit boards and the insides and the veins and the blood and the pumping organs within this television, all the normal components of a television that should be there. You're seeing them as you shoot it, and it shatters, and you see this. But then, almost in this incredibly bizarre moment, it's as if the world distorts and flickers, and it all jumps back together, and it is now perfectly formed television, except for some red wires, some vines almost, that seem to be crawling out of the television. And now that you've shot it, though, and you all see this, these red vines that were reaching out of the television, eating out of the screen, out of the vent at the back, out of the volume controller, as soon as it's been shot by Sam, you see them that they all fall limp. Alexis, Blake, I think I'm going to get you to make a sanity roll. Sam, I'm going to need a 1d4 from you, please.
It's a 4.
This shakes you, Sam. This is, for everything that you've known as a police officer, you've just drawn your gun, chasing a silhouette of a person, but you drew your gun on a television, shot it, it exploded and reformed. You're having a moment, Sam. I'm just going to leave that with you.
Yeah.
Blake, sanity roll, please.
Failure, 95 over 49.
Okay. 95 over 49. That's one away from a fumble, isn't it? That's close. That's would have been beautiful. Okay.
Can I spend any luck on her?
Yeah, absolutely. Is this where keeper luck, that new function, comes in? Okay, so I think in that moment, so you are absolutely going to lose 1 point of sanity, Blake. But I think what's rattling you, I think the addition to this, because it was such a significant fail, but not quite being a fumble, is that it's not just kind of catching the last moments of this TV. You can't quite, you're not sure whether you saw it reform or did you, but these veins and then them falling and dying, but also seeing how Sam is behaving. He just shot a television. That is one of the things that is completely unnerving you. Alexis, your sanity roll.
I am so proud of Alexis. 22 under 67. Her journalistic integrity.
Yeah. Okay.
Requires her to just document this. She doesn't have time to go crazy. She's got to be writing down everything she's seeing.
So we're saying, because I like this then, Heinrich, I like this, that Alexis, let's say, caught that last bit with the television reformed, the red wires coming out and dying, and then even possibly a flicker of distortion, of disruption within reality. Alexis saw that, but instead of engaging with it, is disassociated in a non-biased reporting kind of mindset. Is that the idea?
Yes, it's almost, I mean, if someone else were reading her notes, it would start reading like a TV series at this point, right?
Okay.
Because it is just a factual description of everything that's happening. But by virtue of writing it down, it becomes not weird. It just becomes notes. It's just something that's written, something she's very familiar with, and it keeps her steady.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. I think the last thing, and you'll all see this because you've all lost at least 1 point of sanity. The last thing that you see in this moment is on the TV screen, just as the red vines begin to kind of wither at the side and die after the television's been shot, yet it's reformed. On that beautifully crisp, perfect, undamaged TV screen, you see an image of a black radio tower pulling out of the top of a building and surrounded by trees. It's the last image you're shown before the TV poots out.
I think Alexis will narrate out from her notes what player thinks we should do next, but Alexis will express it as follows. She is writing her notes, and she will say, Officer Holt, intern Blake Curry, and reporter Margolis proceeded to relay 2. Period.
Sam, Blake, any objections?
You all saw it. You all saw it. There was something out there that was a danger.
Yeah.
Officer Holt exclaimed, "You all saw it." And now I'm sort of kind of speaking quietly to myself as I continue taking these notes.
Blake's kind of having trouble catching her breath. She takes off her suit jacket and just kind of throws it on the floor, starting to sweat. Yeah, relay 2. Yeah, we should go there.
Yeah. Let's go there. These technological freaks, they're doing something.
As you walk from the alley, and you're welcome to talk at any point, through the alley to the car, in the car. We'll assume we're going to relay 2, as you've all kind of disclaimed. You get in the car. You see, as you all sit in the car, just a moment's silence before Sam starts the car. It's the missing poster for Jason that was put under your windscreen wiper. Still there. A haunting reminder of what is happening. Car bursts into life. You're on the way to relay 2. Is there anything you'd like to talk about?
They're obviously using these BBS to steal children. That's how it works, right, Blake?
Generally no, but I suppose it could be used for evil. Ooh, it's hot in here, isn't it?
Yeah, the BBS and then the Satanists are probably working with some of these techno freaks, making television. Well, we'll put a stop to that. We got our own little techno freak thing, right?
I feel like Alexis is again sitting in the back and just watching this exchange between the two, and just riding, and very consciously refusing to look to her left and right into either of the side windows.
It does begin raining as you're driving. You've talked about these technological horrors, basically the devil using technology. Someone's probably going to end up one day playing D&D online or something, and spreading fear amongst the masses in that way. There is a bit of a drive. There's probably about a 20-minute drive just from where you are in the city, just to kind of get out northeast of the city and end up on some outback trails. You've got the markers, you've got the maps from Frank Mars. You know where it is, and it's not even hidden in terms of signage. It's just a very desolate area. There's no one there. But you find yourself leaving the city. You've got about another 10 minutes driving on this single dirt road track. You find that the city is very much kind of disappearing in the distance behind you, and what's being revealed to you are these dirt tracks, complete surrounding copse of trees. You find yourself you're going out into the wilderness. Relay 2 is quite far out, and it's quite high up as well, because the point is that the relay is high enough to then get a better coverage for the surrounding houses and areas. It's not completely void of human life, but the roads you're on and the tracks you're taking, they might as well be completely void of life. And you find yourself driving. The rain starts to come down a little bit heavier, and the lights of the car are going to have to come on. We're getting into kind of the mid afternoon here, and with the clouds coming over, it's starting to look a bit darker. Is there anything you'd like to do before you get out of the car?
As I calm down a little bit and start making fun of Electrical and how he must have been freaked out because he just talked to a girl for the first time.
Yeah, I think that was a fair statement.
Looking out the window, do any of the trees in the area look familiar?
Give me a, what do you reckon, Leslie? Is this a natural world roll, or is there something else you'd like to offer? I suppose that might be a different roll. Did I see that tree roll?
Yeah, natural world, I think, would be appropriate. Failure, 59/10.
No, so unfortunately, you don't recognize any exact tree. I can tell you that you do start to see that cluster of trees, those type of trees, but it's not necessarily, you don't see, you can't recognize those trees. But with a 59/10, Blake, got a weird coloring these trees for this time of year. I mean, obviously they're green, and there's lots of evergreens, and a couple of deciduous trees, and that's kind of what you saw in the video. But there's a couple of like red smudges or leaves on a few of these trees. Seems to have kind of grown in consistency as you've kind of gone a bit further up the road. But as you're thinking about that though, Blake, the car does pull up, and as you pull the car up, or as Sam pulls the car up, with the car lights on now because the clouds are covering it, it's getting pretty dark, you can see the Relay Tower 2 building illuminated before you. It's a square block of a building. It's on kind of metal stands, and then it's a concrete structure, almost like a giant box room. And then on top of that is the gigantic relay tower itself. There's an access point up some stairs from the front, up some metal stairs. And it's almost like this circular clearing where the relay tower is. And then it's dense forest around it, just to where you've driven up. Over to you.
Well, we better go check. Maybe Frank's here, actually. I mean, Cal did say he spent a lot of time at the relays. Maybe we should go check in the office area.
That makes sense. Yes. Yes, Frank must be here.
Yes. With a renewed sense of purpose, Blake will get out of the car and head straight towards the relay.
Alexis will follow, her notebook getting wet.
Sam, you going with?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you're kind of going up to the relay building. It is starting to rain now, so it might even be a bit of a trot up to the building itself. And when you get up there, you find, I'm assuming you're all going up the stairs and in the front door. Is that the intention?
Yes.
Yeah.
And please tell me if you're not. Please tell me if you're not. But that's the assumption I'm making. So up the steps, you can kind of hear the rickety metal stairs on the concrete building. And as you go up, you pop the door open, and then that moment hits you, Blake, as the first one through. The door was open, and when you look, there is a handle, there is a lock, there is a metal flap which a loop can go through, which a padlock can use. The padlock is not there, the flap is open, and the door is not locked. It was just, you walked up and pushed it, and it was almost that natural act that made you go, Alexis. Pushing the door.
I will voice out loud what everyone is seeing.
You are seeing, as you go in and you make these notes, Alexis, a notorious note keeper. You go in and you see a rectangular room. On both sides of the room, as you walk forward, you can see that there are a number of screens. There's a number of electrical panels, a number of wires. You can see that each one has a clipboard with kind of notes on it, and it looks like excuse me, it looks like that there are some notations of is it megahertz? And it looks like that you've got a scale on there, and it looks like that someone's recorded a number of megahertz, and then you can see the initial FM next to each one of those. The dates of these initials are 3 weeks ago. The floor by the door is wet. There's a puddle of water. You can only surmise, without trying to throw you in any wrong direction, that the door has been open for a while, and as the weather has changed, the elements have been able to intrude. And at the far end, you can see that there's another couple of panels, screens. There is a desk. It looks like a monitoring station, but I'm going to ask all of you to give me a power roll as you walk into this room. Okay, Blake, your power roll, 86 over 70.
That was yes,
that
correct. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Sam, your power roll.
Yeah, 66 over 50.
Excellent.
Oh,
And Alexis, of course, your power roll.
I'm enjoying the way my extreme successes have gone from 1 to 2 to 3. At this rate, I'm gonna run into trouble.
Exactly. Yeah. In about approximately 97 more rolls, we could be seeing some really interesting stuff going on. So okay, you walk in, and what happens is Alexis, you are scribbling in your notebook, writing everything down. You're seeing the FM initials, you're seeing the megahertz counter. You're roughly seeing the number around 480-ish. Is kind of what you're doing as you're kind of writing these notes down. Whatever that means, that's what's on the clipboards.
Do we have time for a question?
Yeah, of course.
Is the writing here comparable to that of Frank's based on the map?
Very good question. Yes, it is, especially because you have the map with you and you're able to go map, clipboard. Gotcha. Yeah, so it's definitely Frank. You're able to kind of see these screens, these panels. Sam, you can see that some of these screens, one or two of them are looking, I don't know, like there's like a crack in one, and another one's got kind of like scuff marks on it, but on the screen. And there's on your right, probably the last panel on your right, you can see that the bottom panel where some of the switches are has been popped a little bit, and there's some wires hanging out as if that one's being fixed or it's been broken or some such thing. Blake, you look directly at the far end, at the three screens at the far end, where there's a table and where there's a clipboard. And as you walk in, the others don't hear it, but you hear the sound of the screens coming online, as in a bzzz. And as they do, and the lines flicker up and down the screen, when they resolve their opening operating pattern, three eyes look at you. Blink. The middle eye disappears, and you see a mouth. And as you see that mouth, it opens slowly, and as it opens, you hear a noise. You hear the You hear this noise, and it begins to build. Sam, you're looking at the wires sneaking out of the television set. You see those wires. They're moving. You could swear that they're moving, that they're growing. That they are literally starting to reach down out of the machine. Alexis is so busy writing everything in her journal, she is not seeing what is going on here. But you two see what's going on here. Blake, the left TV turns to a black eye. The right TV turns to a black eye. The mouth in the central screen opens so wide it almost disappears, and as it does, the two TVs on either side, and you all see this, spark and short and flicker out of life. And the central TV, you see a face. The Grey Lady's face. This oval with black eyes in the middle, and you see it push against the screen, and then you see the screen begin to open as well as this face begins to push through, and the sound as she's pushing through towards you. What, can I ask, Sam, Alexis, and Blake, do you do? Alexis, you see this last moment. You all see this last moment.
I will. Well, should we go in order of initiative?
Oh, what a lovely idea. Thank you. Let's have everybody's dexterity, please.
I love that change. Like, so serious, so spooky.
Yeah.
What a lovely idea.
This is a charming idea, old boy.
I have a 16 dex.
Okie dokie.
I have 70.
I have a 50. Well, that works out.
50. Right, Blake, you are first. What would you like to do?
I would like to take, other than these three televisions, are there other TVs in this room?
There are a few stacked up either side of you, but they haven't necessarily turned on yet. Some of them look cracked. Some of them look as if they're in a state of disrepair.
I will take one of those from a higher shelf and throw it at the central TV.
Best roll in the game. Give me a throw roll.
All right. Oh, geez, throw.
Yeah.
Failure. 87 over 20.
Okay. You okay, it's not a fumble, but it is a failure. How does it what's the failure, Blake? Tell me what happens.
I think I'm like shaking as I have this TV in my hands, and I'm like kind of closing my eyes before I throw it, and I throw it and it hits just above the TV.
Nice. Yeah, so you just there's this lovely kind of wall behind there, and it's probably the only bit of the building that doesn't seem in a state of disrepair, and then you just see a huge kind of dent in it as this TV slams into it. Okay, brilliant, thank you very much. Sam, what do you do?
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to go and kick this TV. Yeah. Yeah, I need to kick this. Just piss off, Ghost.
Excellent.
This is what the only other response I have to being afraid is violence.
I love it. I love it. Please run up and give us a brawl roll, please.
Yeah. Oh, failure.
Okay, what happens is describe it to me, please, up to the point where you make contact.
Yeah, sure. I goes right, and then he's just like, I'm just gonna kick it right off, and so he's going to put his heel right into the top of the TV, so it all falls over, and hopefully, just shatters.
All right. Okay. No, this is ace. Okay. So, Alexis, this is going to give you something to think about in regards to your go. So Sam goes up there, puts his boot on the screen on the face of this weird ghost thing, whatever the hell's going on. And as you do, your foot goes towards it. You see that face. As your foot comes towards it, you see it go, and it latches onto your foot. Its corporeal farm grips just with its face onto your foot. And then as you fall back, something terrifying happens, and you are all going to need to make a sanity roll for this one, I'm afraid. As you fall back, Sam, you pull this thing further out from the television with you, and as it pulls out further, the TV units fall on top as well. So Sam, you are momentarily trapped for a second, and you have this silly little ghost thing latched onto your foot, and the sound, the screaming there, it is vibrating up your leg. You can feel pins and needles reaching up your leg as if they are vibrating, and it is so incredibly uncomfortable. Excellent. Sand rolls. Blake. Ooh.
Hard success, 15 over 48.
Excellent. Alexis.
It's happening. We've got a 90 over 67 fail.
Okay. And Sam?
A failure, 79 over 45.
Okay. Blake, you with everything that's happened so far, how do you with a hard success, how do you process what's going on here? How are you not reacting like the other two in this moment?
Yeah, so after I unsuccessfully throw the TV, I see that Sam is going in with a kick, and last time Sam was violent, it was scary for me, so I decided to just completely turn away from the situation, and I kind of just cover my eyes and not watch what's going on.
Okay, yeah, so the old classic, if I can't see it, it can't see me.
Yes.
Excellent. Sam, you are on the floor. This thing, you feel this pins and needles rippling up your leg. It's not necessarily crawling up you, but you can feel this clamp. It's on your boot. It's on your foot. How does this sanity loss affect you?
I'm very scared. I no longer want to be violent. I would like to not have my boot on anymore, and I would like to be away from this situation.
Okay, can you give me oh wow, I think, Sam's had some serious sanity loss thus far.
He's lost 5 points.
Lost 5 points. What's your fifth, Sam? Could you?
I'll be down at 40. If I lose another 5, then that will be indefinite.
Ooh, okay. Okay. Can I get? I am gonna ask for. This is big. I'm gonna ask for a 1d4.
All right.
You
Oh,
can't
it's a
hide from it.
4.
Oh. Okay, Sam, I'm going to suggest something, but I also want you to run with it, please, as well.
Yeah.
Fight has turned to flight. You said it yourself. There is this desire no longer to want to fight this thing. It is now flight. You know, it's got your boot. You want to take your boot off by any means necessary. Where you are, sat on the floor in this incredibly terrified state, what you haven't quite seen yet until now, this moment, is just to the side of you. There is a door. The other door leads back down the stairs and back out, and the door's kind of flapping, the wind's picking up. This door, it leads like another way out. There's a light on in there. It looks like you could close the door successfully, whereas the other door is kind of flapping around and not much bloody use to anybody. Sam, what do you do in this moment of sheer fear?
I've got to go and try and get the boot off and run for the door.
Which door? The one for the back or the one with the light?
One with the light.
Okay. Okay, give me a dexterity roll for getting the boot off. Alexis, just while we're getting that dexterity roll from Sam, you also I'm going to need that 1d4, please, because you are seeing, not quite experiencing, but you're there seeing this, and it is terrifying.
So I got a 61 over 60. Can I spend a point of luck to make that a success?
You can indeed. It's about time we started burning people's luck. Thank you, Sam. Yeah, so that's it, Sam. You just kind of, it's almost, you pull the laces. You don't want your hands down there because its face is right there. But with your other boot, if you kick the face / your boot enough, it pops off. And now you're kind of walking a little bit, out of sync with yourself as you got one boot and you run through the door into this corridor with this light. Alexis, 2 sanity points.
2 sanity points, if you could.
Indeed, I will indeed. Just in terms of our kind of order, we've got a little bit at a moment there in terms of the reactions. Blake, let's just jump back. Oh, sorry, Alexis, was there anything you wanted to do in that moment of insanity?
Yes. So is it fair to say that between Blake throwing the TV and looking away from Sam, that she dropped the box that she was carrying?
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think my involuntary action is going to be for failing the sanity roll. Alexis will see the box. She'll see it even open a little bit and the device there. And you can see that there is like a thought process that is trying to work in her head. Like, this is a significant thing and she should be doing something. And then she turns away from the thing, totally ignores it, and walks closer to the piled on TVs. And with her notebook, which now is like the soggy mess, so every time she writes, there's just kind of reams of paper, like skin, that are getting shorn off. And she says, can I get a quote?
This thing, you see that it almost seeps back into the TV, and the TVs all just simultaneously. As soon as you kind of get a quote, they all just, where they were kind of holding her form and where Sam's form was before, it's almost as if she's disappeared, and gadunch, they all just hit the ground as if there's nothing underneath it. Blake? What are you doing?
So I hear Alexis say, can I get a quote? And I turn towards her, say, a quote from me. I don't know. I'm scared. And I run it towards where Sam is.
Perfect. As you run out there, Alexis, do you run with them?
She will not run, but she will sort of jog because she is still writing, because she's writing down the quote from Blake.
Excellent. So you run out and literally within a second of kind of running through into that room, a few things kind of happen all together. Firstly, the door behind you closes. and there is an eerie silence that washes over you. And Sam, then Blake, then Alexis, and in that order, realize that the corridor you're running down seems to just go on and on and on. But occasionally, there's a screen built into the wall, as if someone sunk a television into the wall, very modern and futuristic. The first screen you come to, Sam, it's almost as if someone's been making a TV show, and you can see that the relay that you're at, Relay 2, is on the screen. You can see the poor weather, you can see the rain, you can see the building, but this is shot from the back of the building. What's quite disturbing, Sam, is that out of the back of the building you can see these red vines, loads of them, hundreds of them, all reaching off into the forest, and from the forest all reaching out to the relay and onto the relay and up the actual tower itself. But the vines are moving, Sam. And every time the clouds move and a little bit of light comes through, you get clarity on those vines just for a moment. And you can see that at the top of the tower, as the camera kind of pulls in, there are these buds, almost like little polypy flower buds. As the camera moves in, outside, and you can hear it outside, there is a lightning strike, and as it illuminates the area, this little flowery polyp bud opens. And it's a human eye, Sam, and it looks directly at you. Blake, as you're going down this corridor, following Sam, and you can see Sam is looking terrified. You can see that he's watching this screen, but it's almost as if as he's moving down the corridor, the screen that's next to him is changing to give him the next bit of footage that he's witnessing. So even if he tries to run away from this, it's following him. Same for you, Blake. What you're seeing is a shot of these red vines. And it doesn't look like they're reaching out into the woods. It doesn't look like they're coming from the signal relay. The way you see them and the way you see them moving, it's the opposite. It's as if these red vines, these veins almost, have reached out to the signal relay, and you're following them now to their point of origin. And they go through trees and through trees, around trees. You can see the red blushes on trees here, there, these buds, different places. And then you can see a collection, like an inroad of all of these veins, all coming in, all overlapping over each other. And you can see them wheeling their way out to a house, an abandoned house, a broken down house. And in that abandoned, broken down house, you can see that there's a room upstairs with a light on. The silhouette of a figure standing in that room. Alexis, as you're running down the corridor, the footage that seems to be following you is footage inside an abandoned house. It's as if you're seeing someone walking up these stairs, walking up these creaky old stairs, and then as they get to the top, they turn, and there's one door before them. And that door before you opens, and you look into the room. You see this gorgeous, comforting, settling white light. And you know deep down, Alexis, you know deep down, that's where you need to go. And then you all hear the voice of a small child. Mommy? Are you coming, Mommy? Before you know it, you're at the end of the corridor. It ends. There is an old, rickety wooden door before you. What do you do?
Jason?
Mom? Mom, are you there? Who was that?
We're
This is
here to
a-
help.
Officer Holt.
Can you take me home? I want to go home.
Yep, we're gonna figure this out.
Jason, do you see a door in front of you?
Oh,
What do you see?
I'm in a room. There's a white light. Can you come get me? I'm scared.
Alexis, perhaps because she was running slower than everyone else, has trailed behind and stopped in front of the TV monitor that was showing the last thing that you described, this white light. Perhaps while Blake and Sam are looking at this door and we sort of see them in front of the camera, we can see Alexis beyond. Alexis is going to put her hand against, possibly through, that monitor. She wants to reach towards the light that has called to her.
Hey. Okay. Alexis, can you give me a power roll, please?
I sure can give you a power roll. Whether it will be a successful power roll, let's find out. No, that's a crit failure. It's happened.
It's happening.
The dice gods have balanced the scales.
Finally. Do you know how much that cost me at the break to send to Roll20 and say, come on, guys?
You
Sort
will
the rolls
know
out.
the moment. You will know when it happens.
Okay. What happens, Alexis, is a number of things. And Blake and Sam, I'll tell you when you're aware of said things happening. Thing the first, Alexis, you put your hand up to the screen, and you feel contact with that cold screen. And then you wait for a second, thinking that can you push your hand through? You've seen this thing push through. Can you push through? There's a tingle. There's like a pins and needles tingle for a moment. And you kind of move your head down to concentrate. Your notepad's there. Alexis, you haven't written any notes for the past hour. You have drawn a symbol, and I'm showing you that symbol now. You've been furiously writing in your notebook, but you haven't. You've drawn that. When you look back up to the screen, it's perfectly timed to see a grey hand touch yours from the other side of the screen, fingers pushing through and grabbing onto your hand, and then pulling you as hard as it can through. Your entire body ripples with pins and needles. You feel this electrical current rattling through you. You feel like that you are face to face with the sun, and your skin across your entire body feels for a moment that it flares with this electrical heat. Blake, Sam, you might hear a momentary scream, gasp. Alexis, what might they hear?
What they hear is Alexis saying in a quiet whisper, "I'm going to be a star reporter."
And with that, Alexis is pulled or vertically through this screen, completely from your sight, Sam and Blake. Alexis, you find yourself rattling in this dark, almost the pitch black environment, and all you can hear is this voice, this and then you find that you are almost spat out onto the floor, and you land onto this old, rotten floor, tiled floor. It's tiled, but it's wet. It's tiled, but it looks like a lab. looks like a laboratory of sorts. There's tables, metal tables. There's trays. There's metal stools. There's some white coats that are hanging up. Everything occasionally, though, just kind of flickers. At the far end of the room, Alexis, there is a television with a VCR. And there is a scientist sitting next to that television with the VCR. Very still, very quiet, in the shadows at the far end of the room. But we're going to leave you there for a second. Sam, Blake, you're in this corridor. You're by this rickety door. You can hear, you've just heard Alexis disclaiming that they're going to be the next best investigator, and then gone. At the far end of the corridor behind you, where the door closed, lights go out. The next section of the corridor, lights go out. You notice the televisions at the far back, they are turning into static. Whatever it is, it's getting closer. The next set, the lights go out. What do you do, Sam? What do you do, Blake?
I'm opening the door.
Yeah.
Excellent. Not that I was pushing you towards that. You open the door, and as you go through, the entire lights in the corridor behind you just all go off in sequence, and the static just crackles along the room, and the door behind you slams shut. And behind that door, you hear, and the door kind of rattling behind you. But then you're in a small room. And there's a woman. You think it's a woman? There's a person who's standing against the wall, but they're not really a person. Their arms, forearms, and their legs seem to have split and distended and become red vines, red wires, and they are attached and suckered onto and into the wall, merging with the building itself. The body is open, the chest, and you can see there are wires. You can see that there are circuit boards, and as you look up this horrific thing, you can see that the head is missing. There is a small travel screen where the head would be, and the only image on the small travel screen is a brain, just glistening. Opposite this lady, I hate to tell you, is another door. But you think, actually, let's have a spot hidden, please. Ooh. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Blake 41 over 50, Sam 33 over 60. Good successes here. Okay, so with these successes, you see this person that has been overcome, merged, disjointed, distorted, and the door behind you into the corridor you've just come from, that's closed. The room you're in, you see it flickers, almost as if someone was changing between channels, that slight distortion from signal to signal. And this other door doesn't flicker. It doesn't change. It stays open. You think you can see a silhouette in there. You think you can see a small child. Mom!
Jason!
Mom! Who is that?
Officer Holt and Blake again.
Are you coming? Because I want to go home.
Yeah, we're coming.
Yeah, we're coming. Don't worry, we're coming.
Okay. You walk through. You go through.
Yeah.
Yes.
Unless you're just saying it. Oh yeah, we're coming. not going.
No, we're coming.
We are
Yes,
not
sir.
going.
We do.
He can deal with it. He's 4. Okay, you guys go through. And as you go through, it's really weird as you step over that threshold. You step into that room. It's almost as if you feel as if someone had an ice bucket of water and they threw it at you, but you're not getting wet. It's that feeling. It's that wash, sensational wash, and you feel pins and needles ripple all over your body. But you find yourself in it's like a child's room, but it's completely out of sync with the size that it is. The bed is massive. There's a beanbag that's the size of a car. There's a TV which is quite far away. It seems like the room is wider at this end, but then gets thinner, and as it gets thinner, it gets to where the TV is, and that's where the silhouette of the boy is. He's sitting there watching TV. There's a rocking chair in the back of the room. There's teddies on the bed. There's the doll sitting up. There's all kinds of things in the room, but you see the boy, and as you come in, he just turns and looks. Can you take me home? I want to see my mom.
Yes, come towards us. We'll take you home.
He doesn't get up straight away. He slightly turns, but he looks over to the rocking chair and then looks back at you. Is it safe?
I think so. What's over there?
Oh, Sam. The chair begins to rock.
Damn it.
The TV behind is just white noise, just static. And the young boy just looks at the chair, and almost you see him kind of cower a little bit and looks up at you. Please. The grey lady, she scares me.
We're gonna go real fast and get out of the gray lady, you know?
Just run towards us as fast as you can. I believe in you. You can do this, Jason.
Oh, let's get a persuade roll here, please. I think from either of you, or actually, I think one of you is giving the other one maybe a bonus die on this, because I feel like there's 2 of you here, and you're showing a double effort here.
You gotta roll it. I'm not
Okay.
Not even a discussion. I am not doing it.
Okay, so that's my first. Nope. Failure.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna walk over there.
Okay. You walk over to the room, and it feels like it's longer. It takes longer to get to Jason where he is, but you get to him, Sam, and you turn around, and it looks like Blake's quite far away, almost double the room's distance away. But you get over there, and Jason very slowly gets up from the floor and puts his hand out to hold your hand. What do we do now, officer?
Go walk on back to the nice lady, Blake. We'll just go there, and then we'll walk out of here.
Okay. So he starts walking with you, and you walk nicely, across the room, until the rocking chair is thrown across the entire space, hits the bed, and shatters. The TV at the other side of the room explodes, electricity, everything going everywhere. But you do get to Blake with Jason, but you are in immediate danger. I'm going to ask you what you do, because if you don't act potentially in the right way, obviously player agency, things are going to happen. So please tell me what you'd like to do.
Let's leave this room.
Blake, is that the plan?
Yeah, so we have the door that we came from. Do we see that door?
You do. It's right behind you. It's like it was almost closed, but it's right there.
Okay, then I would head back that direction.
Okay, perfect. So I imagine this is a quick scramble. Is this or is it more? Yeah.
Oh, it's quick.
Okay, so you've got Jason, Sam's there, Blake's there, through the door, close the door behind you, and you are in a different room. You're in a like a studio, like a TV studio. Blake, this is very familiar to you. You know, you've seen TV studio stages where the audience sit and everything. You come out on stage, and as you do, this symbol appears that one of our number has seen before, and as that number appears, you hear an applause.
Do we see anyone in the audience?
You don't. This symbol appears, and you hear laughter. They almost appear above the stage, as if they were almost like the on-air or applause lights that you might get in a studio, but they're not quite as corporeal as that. They just appear. Are you standing still? Are you doing anything? Jason is standing there just holding your hand, Sam. He is terrified.
Is there any other doors that we see?
You can see there's a door in the back of the stage, but there's a door from where you've came from.
Head towards the back of the stage.
You head towards the back of the stage. This symbol appears, and you hear a boo. Boo.
Well, I guess we shouldn't do that. They're booing.
I suppose. We'll go back on the main stage then.
Back on the main stage, the first symbol reappears, and you get those cheers. You get that applause.
What do you want from us?
A little light, spotlight, almost like a birdie light, actually, a hidden light on stage, pops on, and it pops on the back door that they booed, and then a spotlight drops on you. And the boo light comes up again, and you hear the boo.
I'll head back towards that door.
You hear the boo again, but they're illuminating it for you.
Okay. Sam, what do we do?
I don't know. I'm gonna try and get under the light. I guess maybe it's just not Blake's turn.
You're gonna do what? So you try and find the light?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So down at the front of the stage, you can see there's one of those stands with the light on it, and you can turn it. Where do you turn it? Where do you shine it?
I guess on Blake.
You shine it on Blake, and the symbol appears, and you hear the applause.
It's like, all right, Blake, follow the light to the door.
Okay, so I'll just follow as the light is moving.
Okay, you follow as the light is moving. As you do that, you hear there's a different symbol from before. You've already seen it appears, and you hear laughter. And a spotlight drops on Sam, and you hear laughter. But as Blake moves towards the back door with the light on her, the applause symbol is still flashing, and you hear it.
I'll open the door.
You open the door. When you open the door, you can see Alexis standing there looking at you like with their mind blown. We'll pause there. Alexis, in the time between then and now, you saw the TV, you saw the scientist in the shadow sitting next to the TV. What do you do?
I think I would slowly approach, just very cautiously, and be like, I'm here for a story.
Excellent. As you are here for the story, and Alexis is very much here for the story, this shadowed scientist, and you can tell they're a scientist because they're wearing a white jacket, and we all know that scientists wear white jackets.
I feel safe.
Exactly. This shadowed scientist, from you can't see face or anything like that. The shadows are so thick and dense; they're almost distorted in themselves. You see a hand reach out to you, and it's holding a VHS tape. Now, next to the scientist is a television with a VHS player.
And who is handing me the tape? Did you say was the scientist, or did
the scientist who is sat in the chair very calmly and silently, covered in shadows? I would say, actually, Alexis, as the scientist reaches forward with this tape in their hand, you see a slight shift in the torso of the scientist, and you are able to see that there is a name and logo on the scientist's overalls, which says the Ether Institute.
And what's on the tape?
The hand with the tape almost goes from you and towards the VHS player, not to put it in, but just showing you what you need to do.
I let me make a luck roll for myself here. See which way I'm gonna go on this. That's a failure. All right, I'm gonna take that tape and I'm gonna put it in the VCR.
Yes. Okay. Right. Well, I am going to show you this video as it plays. So we are now watching video 4, Handout, the Ether tape.
The discoveries made during the tragic 1967 moon landing disaster fundamentally altered the way we think about our world. All disciplines of science, from mathematics to physics to biology, were profoundly transformed that day in July. 12 years of laboratory testing and research yielded fantastic results. A new reality, hidden between the wavelengths of various radio waves and other naturally occurring phenomenon, was finally breached. By using a signal modulation interruption device, display screens could be transformed into gateways into and out of this world, and potentially to other worlds beyond. Additionally, it is theorized that entities within this dimension could be solidified and brought into a physical state which could be interacted with by researchers. Unfortunately, this new reality was completely alien to the human psyche, and later testing devolved into insanity.
And Alexis, you have just seen this tape from the Ether Institute. And you pull your eyes away from it. What, Alexis? The lights have come on in the room after showing this, almost like the end of the cinema. What'd you do?
Oh, I'm going to watch it again.
Well, as you go to kind of plug it in and watch it again, you see actually that the television is now an eye, and it is watching you. And out of the top of the television, in the shadows that you couldn't see before, you see an absolute wealth of these red veins, these wires coming out of the top of the TV as if they'd burst into it. And they are coming out, and they are coming down, and they are going into the stump that is the scientist's neck. It's as if this neck has been extended and extruded into this television, and there is just an eye in there now, just watching you so intently as you stand there, almost momentarily waiting to push. And then, Alexis, and you hear a booing sound followed by an applause. And as you look in the direction, you see Blake is standing in a doorway and someone's shining a light at her.
I'm just like turning slowly with my notepad.
Oh, Alexis, I'm so glad you're okay.
I look down at myself as though to confirm that I am okay as Blake is describing me, because I do not feel okay.
Absolutely not. You'll see why in a minute. I'm pausing on sanity rolls. Don't feel that I've forgotten anybody. Don't think you're getting off lightly, because you're all going to be fine. It's all going to be okay. Sam, you still on the camera, or have you moved from there? Because you've got Jason with you.
Yeah, I think that after I get this, I'm assuming that we can get on there, then there'll be applause, and so I'm gonna go over and try and join them with Jason.
Nice. So you follow the kind of essentially the beam of light with Jason, following Blake. Get into the room. Blake, are you going in the room?
Yes, I'm going into the room.
So going into the room, and you hear an applause, but it is an absolute raucous applause. It's like the end of just the most fantastic, performance for the Royals, where it's just like huge applause, and then the door behind shuts, and you are in this laboratory. And there are doors off. There are different ways out of here. You're not trapped in this room, but you can now see that there is this television with an eye that is kind of flicking between you, and then you can see the scientist with his neck and the wires. But what's most disturbing as you're standing there and this eye is flicking around is that eventually, as it looks at Blake and it looks at Sam, it looks at Alexis, but then it looks at Jason and it stops and it stares at Jason, stares almost intently. You can almost feel the observation coming from that eye. Jason's tugging on your hand, Sam. Officer, can we go? I think I heard the library. I think there's a library. We go home in the library.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah. Do you know how we get to the library, Jason?
Yeah, I think it's this way. I was a man took me there to show me my mom on the screen, because I was getting sad, and I think he said we could get home that way, but I haven't seen him in a while.
Huh. You know what the man's name was?
He was called Mr. Mars.
Ooh.
Is the scientist still sitting in this room?
The scientist is sat, but now you can see that the scientist is almost red vines out of the back of the white scientist jacket, just like pinned to the wall, suckered into the wall. These red vines are very much a part of the building, the tiles, the TV. They are all merged together in this horrific mess of cables and signals and transmissions.
I will say in a high-pitched, too loud voice, as I'm still thinking I'm scribbling on my notepad at least. I think we've gathered all the information we can here.
Okay. I can lead to the library.
Yeah, Jason, take us.
Library time, baby.
So he takes you out of the one of the three doors that were there, and he kind of goes out to the corridor and has a look. Goes to another corridor, has a look, and it's that one that he kind of goes, okay, I think if we're quick, we can go. She won't find us straight away. And he starts kind of jogging down the hallway. Now, for a little 4-year-old, there, his jog is is a very quick walk for you guys. But you're very welcome to tell me at what speed you move, even what order you move in, but he is basically taking you down this long corridor, and you can see down this long corridor you get, and there's a right turn, but it's peculiar because it is a perfect 90 degrees. The construction of the corner is almost dangerous because it is such a perfect representation of what a corner would be. It doesn't quite feel right. It doesn't quite feel human. It's a very technical imitation. And you come around this right corner, and there is a door with the word library written on it, in just these black letters. Jason's like, it's in here, but we got to be careful when we go in there.
Why do we gotta be careful?
Oh, it's really tricky to find your way around.
Well, we'll all stick together.
Okay. And are you three grown-ups letting this child go first?
I'll go first.
Just checking.
Speaking of sticking together, I would probably hold Jason's other hand.
Okay, perfect. So he's very much safely in between the two of you. And Jason runs
the
in there. And...
All right, you were the lead of the now.
Jason, have you ever heard of a lookout, Jason? We've got an important job for you. You go in. Sam's got Jason's hand. Sam, have you got your gun out as well, or is this kind of holstered?
I think it's still holstered.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's going on.
Not a leading question. I genuinely was just in terms of holding Jason's hand and whatnot. Blake's got Jason's other hand. Alexis, are you kind of behind this? Are you following behind, or are you up ahead?
Oh, I'm definitely not up ahead. I'm going to continue trying to document, but I would like to be noted that I will move expeditiously, since you inquired what speed we were traveling at.
Did you take the Ether Institute tape? I never gave you the opportunity to ask you, and I feel like I should have done.
I would have taken it, since I wanted to watch it again. I would not have realized in the moment that I took it.
Yeah, that's what I thought your intention was. Okay, so you go into this the library, you open up the door, and like all the other rooms here, it takes a second for the distortion to settle, almost like this granular sense of reality forming in front of you. The door closes behind you, and you find that you are in a maze of stacks and stacks and stacks of VHS tapes. Each one of the VHS tapes is labeled. You can see symbols. Unfortunately, not symbols that you've already seen, but you can see symbols. You can see almost pictograms. Before you stands 3 entrances, A, B, and C. Which one would you like to go through?
Jason, do you have a favorite letter?
I'm always getting C's in school, so I guess maybe C.
Perfect. That's enough to pass. Let's go.
That's enough to pass.
The hard pass. So you go through C, and as you start walking through it, you can see these high stacks of VHS tapes on either side of you, and as you walk past, it's almost hard to catch them, but you begin to see these symbols. You begin to see things like quite a rudimentary drawing of a church, or a field, or a swimming pool, or a hill, or a radio tower, or a house, or a forest, or you see all these lots and lots of different pictograms, and each one is uniquely different. Even if they're similar, in these thousands of tapes that must be here in these stacks, each one is slightly uniquely different. Can I ask you guys to give me, and I think you're going to nominate someone for this. Jason isn't leading, we've established that. Whoever's leading the group, Sam's leading the group. Sam, have a navigate roll, please. You find yourself in something reminiscent of a hedge maze.
Come on, law enforcement expert. You got this. You, in fact.
I did not have that.
You have chosen poorly. In this moment, Sam, you're leading the group through. You've got Jason's hand, then Jason's got Blake's hand, and Alexis is kind of scribbling in notes as you go through. And you kind of, you're rushing through, and you hear static. You can kind of see the center. You can kind of see that there's this weird pillar in the center. There's this weird pillory thing, and there's like these red cables and things off the top. You can see where the center is, but navigating your way there, it's like this way. Oh, God, dead end, back. You kind of go back, and you go another way, and then dead end, and then you come back another way, and then you come back another way, and then you come back. You think you've doubled back, and you go down this other way, and then she's there, Sam. It's a woman in complete physical form, Now that physical form is still a distortion. It's a flicker. It's flickering signal transmissions feel like they are full of rage and anger. And she raises one hand and points towards you. What do you do, guys?
Who's got the device? Alexis?
I, in fact, think none of us have the device.
I don't have it.
None of us have the device? Why would
No,
we take
it got
Well-
it got dropped by Blake when she threw the TV, and then Alexis had an opportunity to pick it up, but failed to sand roll and failed to do so. And you put your foot in someone's mouth.
I wouldn't worry, guys. I'm a big fan of a happy ending, so this will be totally fine for everybody.
Well, then I
Who-
suppose let's run out of here.
I like it. I like
Excuse me,
it. Who needs a
excuse
MacGuffin? Let's run. Right. Okay. So is that the consensus? Turn, run.
I would follow Sam's lead. So if he's running, yep, I'm going to.
Sam's running. Jason's little legs are pumping. Alexis, you running?
Yep.
Yeah, excellent. You all start running. You all start pounding. That adrenaline rush and fear just soaks your entire body. Your brain goes into survival mode, goes into flight mode, and you start running. And it's because you hear behind you the distance closing, rather than just the gentle noise of the grey woman. You hear her scream. And she is flying towards you as you are pumping, you are running, and you find yourself turning left, turning right, turning left, and who knows how Sam has done it, but you end up piling out into the middle of this maze. And as you land in the middle of this maze, you see this tower before you, tower of wire, tower of screens, tower of flesh, tower of limbs, tower of organs. This is a construction of human and technology blending the two into some horrific signal receiver and transmitter. And at the bottom, you see this larger gentleman lying there against the ground, his body woven into what's happening there. His head is completely removed and replaced with the television. But the reason you see him is because it's exactly where you run up. And Jason dropped to his knees at that body and goes, "No, Mr. Mars, Mr. Mars." And you can see on his lapel, it says Frank Mars. And he is sitting there with his head as a television, a large television. But in his chest, it's rather notable that he has a slot at a very certain size. Can everyone give me an intelligence roll, please?
Yeah.
This is what happens when you don't have a signal jammer. Okay, what did we get here? Oh my word, Blake Curry, the best intern in the world. What did you roll?
Extreme success.
2 versus 40, extreme success. Sam, what did you roll?
84 out of 50.
84 out of 50. Alexis, what did you roll?
We have a success at 30 under 50.
30 under 50. In this moment, the absolute level of frantic nature goes for you. Sam, I'm going to say in this moment, building on your previous fumble, but relating it back to now, your instincts change again. And I'm going to let you play this however you want to play this, Sam. So please don't let me dictate your player agency here. I just want to give you a lead on this. You, in this moment when you run here and you see this body and massive things, you turn from flight and you turn to fight. There is no way out of here, Sam. This is it. You've got Jason, you've got Alexis, you've got Blake. You are a police officer. You have sworn to serve and protect. I'm going to ask you to think about what you're going to do, and I'm going to come back to you because I think it's going to be a rather cinematic moment.
All right.
Alexis, in your success, but unfortunately not as show-offy as as Leslie's
I've done
success.
plenty.
Oh,
I've
you've done your fair
plenty.
share. Yeah. You've destroyed this cinema. No, you in this moment, Alexis, what you do is you see the shape in Frank Mars's chest. You know you've just put a bloody VCR tape in a machine in another room and taken a tape out. You look at that rectangle in Frank Mars's chest and you can see that is the shape of a VCR tape. You've got it. You know it. You have this moment. And Alexis, would it be fair to say that this is something that you might verbalize?
I appreciate the limited thought that Alexis is capable of right now, that it's like shape, like rectangle. Oh, wait, rectangle. And there's, a delay as that thought processes. But she will then start like moving the tape towards the slot, and that will give everyone the sign of like, oh, right, it's sort of like VCR sized.
Perfect.
VHS
That is
sized.
the perfect lead in. Thank you very much, Heinrich. Blake, in this moment, seeing Alexis do that, you with your extreme success, you know that if you put a tape in there, it's going to open a signal. This is a signal tower. This is a communication tower. This is a transmitter and a receiver. You see the VCR slot. You see what Alexis is about to do. Your brain flashes and you think the tapes on the aisles, they each have a symbol. They each have a location. A farm, a swimming pool, a transmitter, a church, a this, a that, a that. You don't know what Alexis is about to put in. But
I'm gonna go. I'm tackling Alexis.
What happens?
All right.
I want to see. I want to see what happens.
I'm happy to be tackled.
Oh yeah, no, let's get a brawl roll. No, this absolutely needs to happen. You don't feel like you need to dodge, Alexis, because you might not even see it, or you might not recognize the need to dodge. But
Trying
yeah,
to
let's
find
get a
brawl.
fighting brawl roll.
And you know
fighting.
what? If our intern thinks I need to be tackled, I probably need to be tackled.
The intern does seem to have taken a bit of a leadership role. Not gonna lie. There's definitely a promotion here somewhere.
Yeah.
You all right, Leslie?
I'm not seeing. Oh, okay. It's in fighting over here. Got it.
Oh, beautiful.
The new sheets. Oh my word! I tell you
Hard
what,
success.
you guys
7
paid
out of 25.
20. Okay, Blake. In this moment, you Alexis.
Oh no, Newman has been caught by the signal to noise.
We won.
We won. We did it.
We reversed it.
Let's give him a moment to maybe come back. Otherwise, nope. You're still broken up. But I love that your image is just frozen in exactly that kind that we saw on the Polaroid.
Yeah, you got blurry face.
Yeah, blurry face.
You hit.
You know, I don't know if this is part of the scenario.
It might
Just
be.
putting that out there. I... Oh. Oh no! Oh no! He's been booted, and all the images have gone askew, and I am now Blake Curry, and Diesel is Alexis Margolis.
I'm the keeper. We won.
Am I back?
Yes,
Can you hear
yes,
me?
thank you,
Yeah.
Leslie.
Oh,
Yeah, and it's all
amazing.
taken
Cosmic,
care of. It's all taken care of. Leslie took over.
I genuinely
as
don't know what
human.
happened there. Just as of you watching live, this is not a stunt. This is not a stunt. Cosmic, I know you're doing that background, and I've probably moved all the cameras around or whatever I've done. Genuinely didn't do anything. I had something come up that said internet signal unstable, and then an eye started blinking at me, and it all went crazy. Okay. Blake, last thing, if Cosmic, are we all right to carry on? Fantastic. Thank you so much. Everybody should know that Cosmic from the Playhouse is in the background making all of the magic happen. So we'll give him a thank you at the end. Blake, in this moment, the last thing I was getting was that you would be tackling Alexis. Could you describe that to me?
Yes, so a split second of panic, and then I just lunge as hard as I can towards Alexis, prioritizing the tape and just knocking it out of her hand.
Excellent. And you do that almost in the moment. I think it's this moment where we see Sam Holt turn into this moment from flight to fight. Sam, what do you do? And Blake, I'm going to ask you to think about what your next move moment is as well. Sam.
Gonna go turn to Jason and be like, so you stay with the nice lady, all right? I'm gonna go take care of the bad one. And I'm gonna go back through the maze with my gun at the ready, and I'm going to go and kill this gray lady.
Okay, she is not that far away now, and you can hear the resonation of her getting closer. As soon as you step back into the the library maze, you can kind of see that she's coming around the corner. So she's still she's still a stack away, but you can see that she's coming around the corner and she is like kind of screaming at you as you do this. What do you do, Sam?
I'm just gonna start shooting my gun at her. The 3 shots in turn or whatever,
Excellent. Guys, remind me of the rules. If we're doing 3 shots here, it's the first shot, which is the normal shot, and then is each one with a penalty die after that?
Each is with a penalty die.
Oh, each is with a penalty die.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it. Gotta love these moments. Okay.
All right, so failure.
We can use luck on these though.
Yeah, I can. So there was one that was a success, and I'm going to spend the luck to make that into an extreme success.
Oh yeah. And oh nice, I'm just getting some confirmation from Hedge that we've all swapped around. Oh, this is what you were saying, Leslie, that you're keeper now. Is that what you were saying?
Yes.
Oh, I see. Sorry, brilliant. Absolutely. How does it end, Leslie? No. So Sam, with these shots, so is it the one that you're making an extreme success? Were there any other successes using luck?
I don't. Yeah, I think I don't know if I can. No, I can't make any other ones work.
Okay, that's brilliant. So it's this last shot as well, isn't it? That's 11 damage.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, tell me, Sam, how do you raise your gun? How do you pop these shots off? Go for it.
I'm just, going right down, right center mass, trying to get this gray woman.
Excellent. I was hoping there's going to be some kind of like, get some, or Sam's kind of famous quip. Maybe like a kind of a Clint Eastwood thing, but he's cool as a cucumber, isn't he?
Oh, he's just like actually finding the kid switched something in his brain, and he's like, I gotta do my job. I gotta do this.
Nice. He's going out there, bang, 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 and there's one, and you just see this woman just, and you kind of see that she twitches, vibrates. You can see that there's a hole here, and you can see there's a vibrating signal. She is moving slower, but she is still moving towards Sam, and she's getting closer to you. And she actually gets up right towards you, and she is going to swing for you, Sam. Sorry, not sorry. She is going to try and claw at you. You see now as she gets closer that she is taller than you thought. She is more ethereal than you thought. Limbs are longer, the fingers are longer. But as she swings at you, it's weird. You hear the crackling stack. You feel those pins and needles. She fails. She misses. She swings with the arm and the shoulder that you've just shot. As she swings short, and you feel this moment, and you get to fall back. Blake, very quickly, what are you doing?
Yelling at Alexis, don't put that one in. I have to go get another tape, listen to Jason or watch Jason, and then I bolt and run towards the room with all the other tapes.
I'm gonna give me a spot hidden roll. What are you looking for?
All right, spot hidden. I am looking for a TV station if they have it.
Okay, you grab one. You run back. You're not sure which one you've grabbed. What are you doing? Alexis is there as well, next to you.
While Blake is running off, I think Alexis is crouching down beside Jason, and she is going to say, "All right, now, what's your name and favorite animal?" And she will very diligently begin to interview Jason.
My name is Jason. My favorite animal is a rhinoceros. He's kind of, he doesn't know, but as you're taking great care to try and buffer any sense of kind of trauma that the child is experiencing, any further trauma, should we say, Blake comes running back and waving a tape in the air. Sam, do you stay there with the grey lady, or are you coming back to the group?
No, I gotta hold her off so they can get out. And now she's in point blank range, so I gotta take advantage of that.
Excellent. Okay, she's in point blank range. Right, give us a sec, Sam. Blake, what do you do with the tape?
I put it in my dear friend Frank.
And Frank's body just twitches somewhat. The screen flickers, and there's this ungodly noise from the grey woman. And Sam's there, and Sam, you're hearing this noise, but you are so in the zone that it doesn't put you off in this moment. The screen before you lights up, absolutely it illuminates this huge light. You see this classroom. What the hell tape did you get, Blake? You see this classroom with these chairs and tables and a blackboard, and this room illuminates, and as it does, it just swallows you. The screen swallows you up and pulls you in, and you feel pins and needles rattling through your body. You feel that heat, Alexis, that you felt before. You all feel this heat, this transmission heat, and you find yourselves spat out onto the floor of a classroom, tables and chairs going flinging. Jason cries as it lands on the floor. Sam, she is in your face, hands reaching out.
Bad place
What are you
to
doing?
be. I got my gun right there in her face.
Let's have it. Is it one shot with penalties or 3 shots together?
So it's 3 shots with penalties, but if I do point blank, I think I get a bonus. Is that cool?
Yeah, I think you're right. So it's just that means it's just straight off then, does it? No penalty, straight roll.
Yep.
Excellent.
And yeah.
Right, and those are 3 rolls.
Yeah.
Amazing. 3 successes. 60 over 70, 68 over 70, 41 over 70, totaling in a number of points that I'm far too clever to calculate. But we're definitely on 35, 25. What did I just say? Yep. Okay. So basically, when we get that high in points, what happens is Sam, you tell me how you destroy the great lady's head.
Yeah, I think I like she's just right there, and I just put it right in her mouth. And
each one of those bullets is a reminder to you of what your job is, to protect and to serve. And her head just explodes in this scatter of signal and mess and transmission and distortion, and her body just drops to the floor, almost turns into this puddle and just dissipates, and the entire place just kind of rattles and rolls. Now, Sam, if you're all right to pause for me for a moment, I'm just going to talk to the other 2, and then we're just going to very quickly do almost like a minute epilogue for each person to find out what happened to them. Blake and Alexis, you find yourself in this classroom. The TV in the classroom, the school television is shattered. It's broken. Someone's gonna have to pay for that. And Jason is with you. There's no electricity. There's no noise. There's no nothing. You are back. What does it feel like to be back in Summit Falls?
Feels odd.
Mm-hmm.
A little too quiet.
Tell me what the next day or 2 looks like for you, Blake and Alexis. I understand that some of it might be together and some of it might be apart. Go for it.
I think the first order of business would be taking Jason to the police station and making sure that he gets reunited with his mother. Then I would report back to my boss, Larry Rosenbaum, and just report the sad, unfortunate news of Frank's death. And that if they are looking for someone to replace him, I might be willing to interview, but otherwise,
Nice.
Just taking some time to grieve, but also making sure that everything's running smoothly at the TV station.
So Laura Stein being reunited with Jason, a beautiful moment, and she is so appreciative. She was that she would never see Jason again after all that time, but she has, and he's home and he's having therapy, is what you've been told. Rosenbaum, yeah. You see him in the corridor, he high fives you now in front of everybody. You want that tech job? You got it. Yeah, because Mayor Rosenbaum is, he's on for a win. This is great news. Alexis.
Well, Blake, you may have multiple jobs to choose from because Alexis is going to get to work on what she thinks is going to be, I mean, just the story of the century. And it will, she still thinks she can see her notes. They're obviously not there. And that just adds to the rambling mess of a story that she's going to turn in about all of that. And that ultimately gets her fired, which is fine because she is going to go on to be a star reporter, a star crackpot reporter. And if Electrical is still with us, there's going to be a big interview with him. And Alexis.
I'm so excited! I love doing interviews. This is going to be great.
Yeah. She's just going to keep going down that rabbit hole and become the reporter for everything unhinged.
Outstanding. There's two little things I want to wrap up. One being Sam Holt. Sam, there is no way home. You did what you needed to do, but a few things done you in this place of the alternate dimension, different signal, different realm, whatever this place is. Number one, you don't get hungry or thirsty or tired. You find yourself roaming those halls, looking at those tapes, going back into the theater room, going back to the laboratory, but you can't get out. You can't leave. It's not long, Sam, before madness begins to set in properly. You begin watching tape after tape after tape, watching all these different locations. You can watch people's lives, but that's all you can do. You just see other people's lives, the people in Summit Falls. Sam, is there anything that you would like to do or say before we leave Sam in this other place?
I think Sam just keeps on watching, and then he just becomes almost obsessed with, the life he saved of Jason and Blake and Alexis, and keeps watching them. And in fact, goes back to the applause room and starts acting out storylines about how they still are all together, and he's like a father figure to Jason, and he can still talk with Blake and Alexis.
I love it. Can I suggest one thing?
Sure.
I love it. So there's almost like this opening, this intro that you're perfecting with this. You've done the whole play, but this is one intro that you're perfecting. And you've watched the Alexis screen, you've been and watched the Blake screen, you've been and watched the Jason screen. You've seen how they're getting on and everything. But there's just this moment that you have, Sam, where you're on the stage, and I love it. You're on the stage, and you welcome to Summit Heights. Welcome to Summit Heights. It's in that moment, Sam, that you realize that when Alexis and Blake and Jason returned, they found themselves in Summit Falls, not Summit Heights. And in that moment, you realize that they have gone home, but whose home have they gone to? At which point the screen pans and clips, and we find ourselves in the child's living room, toys everywhere, telly on. We hear Laura Stein. Jason, dinner. Jason, come and get your dinner. There's no answer from Jason. Laura is back into the living room from the kitchen, sees Jason sitting there on the floor, staring at the screen of static crackling away. Jason, are you okay? And Jason just slowly turns his head to face his mother with dark black eyes resembling the Grey Woman, and says, "Ah!" And that's, wonderful investigators, is where we will stop our game. Signal to Noise, written by Colin Richards, which this is a fantastic scenario by Colin Richards. Really, really enjoyable. I've run that very quickly. I would encourage you all to have a look at it. And in the few minutes we have, I'd love to just throw over to Leslie, Heinrich, and Al, and just kind of, guys, have you got any shout outs? This is your convention. It's absolutely amazing. Any call outs, any shout outs about yourselves, about what's going on? Go for it, please. Leslie, do you want to start?
Of course. So thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited for everyone that's attended the Miskatonic Repository Con. It's awesome to see everyone here having a great time, because that's what it's all about. If you want to check out my YouTube channel, it's XPLovecat, and I also do developmental editing for those who like to write fiction. So hit me up if you want help with your projects.
Heinrich?
Newman, thank you so much for running, and thank you so much to the Miskatonic Playhouse, Cosmic, everyone there. It has been a blast, and it has added so much to the convention. And just echo all of Leslie's words. For my part, I am Heinrich Moore. You can find me on YouTube on Heinrich Moore Presents. And the thing I'm most excited about in terms of upcoming developments is I will have Heinrich's Call of Cthulhu Guide to Carcosa coming out November 30th, and we will in fact be streaming that. That is going to be on the Symphony Twitch channel, and there might just be a video coming tomorrow in connection with our panels that is going to prelude that guide a little bit.
Amazing. And Al?
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone for attending the Miskatonic Repository Con. Want to plug the bundle. It's a ton of great scenarios like this one that are just really, really great stuff that people work really hard on. And it's, I mean, this is hours of entertainment for a very nice little chunk of change. Just reading and prepping and running them. I mean, running them multiple times, like Newman here. I want to thank Newman for letting me play. It was wonderful. I hope that I was all right. And then you can find me on Twitter, or X as it's now called, AlSmith208. Where I have my Discord where I run games and I have all the stuff that I've published at this point.
Amazing. And I suppose the final note from me is to say a huge thank you, and thank you to the Miskatonic Repository Con, asking us and working on this project with us to do this live Twitch. This is the first of what we hope is many live from the Miskatonic Playhouse, and we've got quite a creative group. We often joke that we're all way overqualified for what we're doing, and then kind of go, oh god, what are we doing, which is quite a lovely experience to be. Lots of lovely people, but what I would say is doing what we do like this, if you like what we're doing, and if you kind of think, you know what, I want to follow those guys, or maybe I could support those guys, maybe chuck a quid at them or $1 or something. We do have a coffee, which is hopefully going to come up on the screen, or I will shout out because I remember what it is, because I'm that kind of a human person. It is coffee, that's ko-fi.com/Miskatonic Playhouse. And any kind of support that you give means that we get to do more of this stuff. We're very excited to announce lastly that we're going to have a new Twitch release coming out, and we're still working out the finer details, but what we're hoping to do is invite people to the Miskatonic Playhouse's rehearsal, where we talk about how to do game mechanics, or we talk about how to play the big bad, or we talk about how to get better as players, so and keepers and writers and human beings and everything in between. So thank you for community for giving the Playhouse such a warm welcome in the community, and we're so proud part of it, and promoting everybody's work. If you'd like your work to play at the Playhouse, drop us an email, come find us in Discord, come find us on Twitch, Facebook, all the usual socials. And I cannot stress enough a huge thank you to all the other keepers at Miskatonic Repository Con that are running their scenarios, because you are what makes this amazing. So thank you very much, and thank you all for coming. And on that note, we shall say, until the curtain rises again.